All right. Welcome into the Rev and Bone cast. It is March 20th. It's a beautiful day outside. It's been raining off and on all day. It's expected to rain a little bit more tomorrow here in Southern California. How you doing tonight, T-Bone?
Doing fantastic. It's about 60 degrees here in Chicago. We skipped winter, so it's officially spring.
I heard that you guys got a bunch of snow, though, so I don't know if you can really count that as skipping winter.
No, we didn't get any snow.
Fair enough. I'm not there. I can't really verify either way. So let's go ahead and dive right in, starting with who's number 4, who's the most iconic number 4. And we didn't really talk about who's going to go first, but I'm going to pass the ball right into your court. This is a sports podcast. So we're passing the ball into your court like Pistol Pete Maravich over here. Who's the most iconic? When you think of number 4, who do you think of, T-Bone?
Little pick and roll action, sending it over. So I had a couple of items for number 4 on my list. It being March Madness, Final Four was up there for me. I really wanted to take Final Four, but I decided to go with an iconic rock and roll album from Led Zeppelin. It's Led Zeppelin 4.
Oh, okay.
Some of their most recognizable tracks on there. I would argue to say Led Zeppelin's the greatest rock and roll band of all time. But that album, wow, Stairway to Heaven, Black Dog, When the Levee Breaks, classic songs front to back on that album. So I'm going to take Led Zeppelin number 4.
Wow, that's a strong pick. I like it. I don't know if I would agree with it because obviously my pick is different, but I do like it. I like Led Zeppelin. I couldn't say that I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I almost took Led Zeppelin 3 last week during our episode 3 for number 3. But since I was listening to so much De La Soul, I had to go with 3 Feet High and Rising for them. 3 is probably my favorite Led Zeppelin record, but for this week, I'm taking 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a surprise. I didn't even think of Final Four, and it's a big surprise that you just didn't take Final Four. We're in March.
I know, right?
It's kind of fitting. So it's a little disappointing.
I know. March Madness is my favorite time of the year for sports. I have to be honest, and not taking Final Four, it felt too obvious. It was too obvious of a pick.
Of course, yeah. We don't like obvious things. We like to not beat around the bush. We like to, what's the word here? What's the word? Beaten path. Go off the beaten path.
Yeah. The road less traveled.
The road less traveled. I like the pick. I think I like their album 3 better.
Yeah, 3 is my favorite from them too.
And this is back-to-back album picks for you.
It is, and it's veering off of my 3 picks in a row with DE starting. I started off with Derrick Rose, at Derek Jeter, at De La Soul, all beginning with DE. So we're going LED, Led Zeppelin.
So it does include a D and an E. So you're counting, if you're playing the Rev and Bone cast, bingo at home, you can still count that one. The official rules have come in. You are good on that one.
All right.
Is it time for my pick?
Yeah. Who you got for number 4?
I got a lot of honorable mentions, including starting with Ricky Carmichael. He's the GOAT of motocross and supercross. Number 4, throughout his career, pretty much. Absolutely legendary battles with James Bubba Stewart and Chad Reed, along with Jeremy McGrath, a previous mention on this show. Absolutely love Ricky Carmichael. He's one of my favorites of all time. He's a current announcer for Supercross, and boy, does he struggle with the words. But let's just chalk that up to a little CTE. There's nothing wrong with that.
Just a little CTE, no big deal.
When looking this up, I Googled who's the most iconic number 4. I just Googled it, because there's nothing that jumps off the page to me. And first couple of results were some soccer players, which that doesn't really count. We're in America. Another page I came across had the most iconic football players number 4. Obviously, Brett Favre was number 1. He's kind of tarnished his reputation, allegedly, with some of his actions down in Mississippi in the previous months. So it's tough to say that he's the most iconic number 4. Others on that list included Jim Harbaugh, Derek Carr, Dak
Ooh,
Prescott, and Tim Hasselbeck was number 12 on that list.
the
If Tim
cardiac
Hasselbeck's on your
kid.
list,
Yeah, it's
if
that's
Tim
slim
Hasselbeck's on
pickings
your
if you
list,
got
you
Tim
should not be
Hasselbeck.
making that list.
Yeah, slim
So
pickings.
my four, when I'm thinking about number four, I'm thinking about four. I'm thinking about getting a little crazy. I'm taking Four Loco, the
Ooh,
malt beverage. It did
nice.
not get banned. I checked their frequently asked questions on their website, which contains a ton of information. Apparently,
I'm
people
sure.
ask a lot of questions about Four Loco. It was never banned. They voluntarily removed caffeine, so good for them, which made it legal to sell in America and in Canada. So they can take it now. Drink it responsibly. But Four Loco, I mean, look at these flavors on their website. We're talking. I'm sorry. I got to scroll down. I was going all over this page, but we got flavors including sour grape. That one's pretty obvious. Red,
Mm-hmm.
black, blaze, gold, fruit punch. Another pretty obvious one.
Blaze. What's in Blaze?
Possibly the same ingredients as hemp. Hemp is an ingredient. Hemp is a flavor as well. They got some wild flavors. I'm excited to
Mm-hmm.
try them all out. Check back in on the next episode where we try out all the flavors of Four Loco.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
gonna be crazy. It's gonna get
check out
loco.
this question on their
What are you
FAQs.
trying to get
What
crazy with, Essie? Don't you know I'm loco? What do you got
I
on
like
there?
that. So what flavor is Four Loco Gold? And it says Four Loco Gold is quickly becoming one of our most popular flavors. For more info, please visit our Four Loco Gold page. So they really just dodged the question there. They really, really want you to just try it. Just taste
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Just give it a shot. You're gonna
Gold,
love it.
gold,
For
baby, gold.
one of my strongest, well, I have a couple strong memories with Four Loco, which kind of is a little ironic because most of the time it deletes the old memory. You know what I'm talking about? But
Right. It's
we were
known
driving
for.
back. Me and my buddies were driving back from a casino in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we just bet one of my buddies. Like, I guess we didn't really bet him. We just challenged him to chug down a Four Loco, and he did. He immediately, his face was burning. He stood on the side of the highway and dry heaved for about half hour. So great experience with Four Loco. Another time,
He lived to tell the tale, you know.
he sure did. Shout out Steve. And then
Steve.
the other experience was with my buddy Cisco and Rig, who you're well aware of Rig. Cisco was chilling in the hot tub drinking a Four Loco in Bloomington, Indiana, the home of the Indiana Hoosiers. We were on a mountain biking trip, and it was a great time. And he just was chugging down a Four Loco. It was a great time, and so Four Loco, the most iconic number four.
All right.
So what do you think about that?
Ooh, it's a good call.
Have you had a
Solid
Four
call.
Loco?
Solid pick. I've never had a Four Loco myself.
We're about to change that.
I was one of the many that was scared by the rumors online that they had added
Well,
things that
they're all
detrimental to your.
unfounded. They're all untrue.
Right. Right.
Drink a Four Loco. And did I just see on that score bug behind you that the Bulls won tonight in 2
They
overtimes
won.
against the Sixers?
Bulls won in double overtime.
This is not a very sports heavy show tonight. We only have one sports topic, but damn, that's pretty good. The Bulls are on a hot streak right now.
Yep. It's the first time they beat a Joel Embiid led 76ers team. They're now 1-12.
Not bad. Hey,
And
you
they
can't
play
get
them
to 12
again.
and 12.
Their next game is against the 76ers at home. They got a home and away against Philly. So the play-in likelihood is still alive and breathing in Chicago for the Bulls.
I don't love that, but I guess it's better than. Well, it's not better than much. If they don't, they don't get a draft pick. They're going to lose some players this offseason.
But they can make a run. You never know. They can get hot.
You never know. They're playing pretty well right now.
And there's a chance. Just saying, there's a chance.
I am absolutely saying there's a chance. Moving on here, T-Bone, what are you drinking?
Well, not Four Locos. You mentioned Milwaukee, Wisconsin earlier, so I'm representing a little tiny Milwaukee brewery. You may have heard of it. It's called the Miller Brewery. So I got a nice ice cold Miller Lite. You know,
Wow.
keeping it classic.
You know I love that. It's like you're
Yeah,
pandering to me. Love Miller Lights. Nice cold Miller Light on a hot summer day, or even a cool wintry
yeah,
night.
yeah. They
Uh,
reached out. They're trying to get their brand going. So they reached out and said, "Would you mind drinking our beer on your show? Trying to get some sales up." So I said, you know what? I'll help the little guy out. Look, I'll give Miller Lite a chance.
this is actually the third time that a Miller Coors beverage has made its way onto Beer of the Week.
True.
With
True.
Miller Lite being episode 2 Beer of the Week
Mm-hmm.
for me, and then Coors Light running it back the following week. Now Miller
Mm-hmm.
Lite makes another appearance on the show. This is wow. This is a great run for Miller Coors.
Yeah, yeah.
Good for
Milwaukee's
them.
finest. Milwaukee.
Love that. Love that.
What you got on your beer of the week this week?
So I'm currently drinking. I'm finishing up this Coors Light, but
All
I
back.
did pick up some local brews for later this episode. It is the Brewery X Dictionary Roulette Hazy IPA. Shout out to my roulette boy Jacob. He's probably not listening, but he should, because this is I'm really excited for it. I like a good IPA, singular, because multiple of them make my face break out and I get a little too drunk. But
Okay.
we're just gonna go with one of those tonight. I'm pretty excited about it. Should be a good time.
Love a good hazy. Love a good
Brewery
hazy.
X. They're over in Anaheim, very close to me over in, like I just said, Anaheim. And yeah,
Nice.
they make good beer. They have a really cool brewery over there. So yeah, Brewery
Nice.
X.
So we'll keep an eye on your face as you drink that tonight. Make sure everything is good to go.
It's gonna be disgusting by the end of the show.
What
But hey, it was disgusting at the start of the show. So hey, what are you gonna do?
are you gonna do?
All right, so that's our beer of the week this week. T-Bone is drinking, Terry is drinking Coors Light. I'm drinking a Brewery X Roulette Hazy IPA. They're both delicious. Both check them out at your local liquor stores. Be sure to check out also our website, againstthespread.home.blog. And then check out our YouTube page if you're on there now. Hit us with a like and subscribe if you like. And if you want to subscribe, hit us with that. We're looking forward to growing this channel a little bit more. Diving in a little bit further here, we do have one sports topic this week. It is the NCAA tournament. It's kind of consumed all of our brains, consumed all of our times.
Oh
What's
yeah.
going on with your bracket over there, T-Bone?
Oh yeah. Bracket is minorly busted, not completely busted. We're still alive. We've got some potential for points to make up in the later rounds, which I'm excited about. I still have Houston winning it all, so they're alive. Got Alabama, got UCLA, my Final Four, still alive and kicking. Picked Memphis. They sputtered out in the first round, but that's the one of my four that didn't make the Final Four. So still got 3 alive. I'm feeling pretty good heading into the Sweet 16 next weekend. So, yeah, this is my favorite time of the year for sports in general. And when March Madness hits, I love March Madness. I love the bracket. I love the tournament. I love everything about it. I love the Cinderella stories. Love the fact that you get games back to 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 back, and the action never ends until it does, and then I'm sad. But bracket's still looking pretty decent. I'm fairly optimistic heading into the Sweet 16.
So speaking of games that are back to back to back to back to back, we currently are on a 2-day break from the games until what, Wednesday?
Thursday, yeah. We'll resume
until Thursday.
Yep.
So we got the Sweet 16 coming in hot on Thursday. Who's the most surprising team to you so far?
I think it's FAU. I think FAU is the biggest surprise for me. Obviously, they beat the Memphis Tigers, who I had going to the Final Four. So that surprised me that they not only beat Memphis in the first round, but then advanced into the Sweet 16. I think Princeton is clearly a surprise. They're a 15 seed. They faced off against Arizona, played them super tough, got the dub there in the first round, took care of business against Missouri, and actually won handily in the second round. So that was a big surprise too. I think their run comes to an end this weekend against Creighton. I do like the Blue Jays to advance into the Elite Eight and play, I want to say Alabama then, right?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so.
they would play Alabama if they win. So I like Creighton to end Princeton's Cinderella run. But those are my two surprises for sure. I think Princeton's the obvious call, but FAU as well.
It's a pretty good matchup that Princeton is coming up on with Creighton. They're not facing like a Kentucky or something like that, a lower seed with very high caliber players. I think they have a shot to keep it running. This is the third year in a row that a 15 seed has advanced to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, wild, right?
Pretty wild. And of course we can't forget about Fairleigh Dickinson upsetting Purdue. Love that story.
I didn't even see that as a huge surprise. I didn't think Purdue was built for a deep tournament run. I wanted to pick them to lose in the first round, but it's hard to actually, when you're filling out the bracket, to actually click on it and say, all right, yeah, the 16 seed is going to beat the 1 seed. But if any 1 seed was going to lose, I thought it would be Purdue early. So good for Fairleigh Dickinson. You'd love to see a small program like that come through, and they join UMBC as the only 16 seeds to win in the first round, which is pretty cool.
The Retrievers, they lost in the second round as well, correct?
They did, to FAU, yeah. The aforementioned FAU.
Wow, that's serendipitous, as I like to say. FAU, they played Fairleigh Dickinson. They played them really close. That could have gone either way. They pulled away a little bit at the end. Fun game. They kind of went from like, oh, who is this team, to like, oh, everyone in America hates this team very quickly. Just by playing the underdog. So I am rooting for them going forward. Again, I like Princeton going forward. Just because I love the underdogs. But my Final Four, I still have 2 teams left: Texas and Alabama. Yeah, that's not great. TCU lost last night to Gonzaga. And then Duke lost to Tennessee in a game where they just completely bullied Duke. I had Duke going pretty far, going to the Final Four in this tournament, but I'm never sad to see Duke lose.
Yeah, same here. And yet last night was the night that I was able to pick up some ground in the Against the Spread group on the ESPN Tournament Challenge, which is pretty cool. Next year, for all you watching, for all you listening, definitely check our group out. Join our group next year, because it is some fierce competition. And right now, I find myself on top for the projected points, which I'm happy about. Happy to see. I was trailing going into the second day of the tournament, but made up some ground last night. And I'm looking forward to see how it all pans out, because we got some stakes. We got some stakes on the line.
We do have some literal stakes on the line.
Literal stakes.
I really liked it when I won. I don't know what I won. I think it was the bracket contest last year. You sent me some T-bone steaks. That was a very nice touch.
Yeah.
Shout out to our sponsor, Omaha Steaks, for this tournament tournament prize. We love having them on. Really happy to have them back this year. 2 number 1 seeds have gone down. Obviously, we talked about Purdue, and then Kansas went down. So that was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, I didn't see Kansas losing that early. I had them bowing out this weekend. I believe I had them losing to UConn, but they won't even get a chance to face them. They lost to Arkansas, which is kind of a fun matchup. Arkansas versus Kansas, Arkansas. So they'll play this weekend. I like UConn to beat Arkansas in advance to play UCLA, and UCLA ultimately going to the Final Four.
I personally really love Eric Musselman, the coach from Arkansas. He's a very fun dude. He knows how to connect with college dudes. Like, he's kind of an awkward white dude, but he knows that like his lane is just being like goofy and himself. Yeah, and I have to respect that. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Look up some of his recruiting photos. They're very funny, where he recreates some iconic basketball moments with some of his recruits. They're very good. I'll splice one of those into the video here. So nice. I'm really rooting for Arkansas to make a deep run, just so I can see a little bit more of Musselman's antics there.
Yeah, so, I believe Arkansas, their last run was in the early 90s when they won it all under Nolan Richardson. Shout out to Scotty Thurman and Corliss Williamson. If you guys remember who could forget that run that they made, was it 92, something like that? 93, 94. in that range. But it's nice to see a program like that get back into a competitive game deep into March.
Absolutely. And Fayetteville, Arkansas is a beautiful town. I've been to Bentonville, Rogers, Fayetteville area many times. I'm a big mountain biker, and they have a great mountain biking scene down there. Broke my collarbone in Bentonville, spent some time in their hospital.
Broke my
Beautiful
collarbone in
hospital.
Bentonville. It's their country music debut, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sure was.
Broke my collarbone in Bentonville.
It was a really nice time with my buddy Cisco, the aforementioned Cisco, the Four Loco Cisco. It was a good time.
Cisco.
We had some good times down there. Broke my collarbone. We got some barbecue on the way back while I was very, very high on pain pills. Slept almost the entire way back. It was a good trip. Good trip.
Nice. So do we round out the bracket there? Do we go? Because we both have Alabama. I believe you have Texas, and I have Houston in the top part of that bracket there, up in the Midwest. You still feel good about Texas coming out of that region?
I feel great about Texas. They shed Shaka Smart a couple of years ago. They got Chris Beard. Chris Beard really led him on a solid start to the season before beating up his wife, allegedly. Cleared of charges, so I'm not going to comment on that.
One thing I like about the Sweet 16 right now is we don't have a single region with a 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's always pretty cool when you go through a region and you don't have a single 1, 2, 3, 4 remaining in that region. You got a 1, 2, 3, 5, which is the closest thing up in the Midwest, but Miami beating Indiana last night to become the 5 seed to advance. But that's always pretty cool. And that's the thing about the tournament is that, yeah, the seeds come out, but you got to play the games to see who advances. And to not have 1, 2, 3, 4 represented in the Sweet 16 at all, kind of cool.
No, I really like that. The past couple of years, I feel like has been kind of chalky a little bit, and I feel like this is a return to form for the tournament to really get a little wild. And yeah, a lot of the, you think about the 4-13, 5-12 seeds, those games, they're always, there's an upset.
Yeah.
But I feel like this year, those teams, the 4s and the 5s winning, that's kind of an upset in and of itself for those teams to win and advance. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. We'll see what happens this coming Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday.
With the madness.
Yeah, it's really good stuff all around. I'm really happy with it.
Same, 100%.
All right, before we move on, we're going to plug a little preview here. Later this week, we're going to come out with a full-on MLB preview show where we talk about all the baseball coming up this year. I'm really excited about that. It's going to be a very good season for baseball, especially here in Southern California. We got 3 teams that the Dodgers are going to be good. They spend a boatload of money, but not nearly as much of a boatload of money as the San Diego Padres. They're a very fun team. They're going to be extremely fun this year with all their players coming back, all the players that they've signed. And then
Padres just printing money down in San Diego.
Where are they getting all that money from?
They got their own mint, apparently. They're just printing money and signing players. Doesn't matter.
It's like they just don't care about money.
No regard.
Because hey, winning will get the money back. It's a big bet. It's a big bet, but I think it's going to work.
I like their squad a lot. I mentioned March Madness being my favorite time of sports here. Opening day baseball is right up there with some of my favorite times of the year for sports, and I am super looking forward to the show where we give all of the details on the upcoming season, talk about players who have moved locations, who's where, division predictions, outstanding awards predictions, MVP, Cy Young, etc. So we'll have all those details coming up later this week on that episode. So I'm stoked. So showing obviously tonight that we've got a few more tricks in the bag other than sports. We'll dive fully into Major League Baseball for all you baseball heads later this week.
Hey, that's how it goes sometimes. Right now is not the biggest time of the year for overall sports. You got the World Baseball Classic going on that we're not entirely covering. The USA is in the finals. That's a good thing.
They are. USA,
Japan. Is Otani playing?
Otani is playing. He's been playing. Yeah, he's been playing well.
Cool. That shows how much I've been watching that.
He's a
Not
superstar,
much.
man. Yeah, he's a superstar.
Yeah, he's a local boy. He's down here in Anaheim. It's about
Mm-hmm.
a stone's throw away from me. I can see the A when I go out on the main street right over here by my house. If I had a
Nice.
baseball in my hand, I could probably throw it to Angel Stadium.
You could
Um,
definitely throw it there.
that's more of a measure of my arm strength than its
Believe in yourself.
proximity.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Angel Stadium right up the street. I love going to watch Otani and Mike Trout. They got a good squad.
Yeah,
It doesn't have a lot of depth. So
Mike Trout deserves a playoff run. You know, he's a generational talent, and you hate to see a guy that good never get into the playoffs. So I'm rooting for him. I'd love this. I'd love to watch him play in the playoffs because he's not been there in his career, and he deserves better. So,
well, I think you're getting a little taste of that with the World Baseball Classic.
mm-hmm.
I think he's getting his playoff experience, and now he's going to go back down to Anaheim, and he's going to hang out here with me and my friends.
Yep.
And they're going to win 60 games, and it's going to be a good time.
60 games. Yikes. That means they're losing 100. All right. We'll save all the baseball chatter though and predictions for next week. Let's dive into what we have. March Madness leading into.
Up next on the docket, we got Succession Talk with the Roy family checking in for the fourth and final season. Succession's on HBO, HBO Max, HBO Go. Feel free to use my login if you'd like. I'll share the password with you. Just hit me up. I'm thinking about canceling soon, so maybe get your own password for that. But I'll probably wait it out for the end of the Succession season. Episode
Wait, so
1.
You're not the Kevin on our HBO login right now. There's a different Kevin out there using ours.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I thought it was you.
No, that's actually it might be. I might have been logged into yours at one point, but no, I got my own. A few of my friends use it. A few of my
I don't think you should be saying that on the internet. You don't want to get
no. Netflix is the one that's not chill with that.
the FBI knocking on your door. Oh yeah, Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, HBO is like, dude, do what you want to do. I don't care. As long as people are watching our shows, we don't care about making money here.
Yeah, I'm cool, man. We've been around forever. I'm HBO.
Yeah, man. You want to smoke some weed? It's cool,
Yeah,
man. We're
whatever,
HBO.
dude. Do whatever you want.
Do what you want to do, man. Share your password. I don't care.
Live your best life.
Smoke some drugs.
We got entertainment. Just hang out.
You want to drink and drive? I don't care, man. We're HBO.
Whatever. Just don't get caught.
HBO is really cool. Shout out to HBO for being the cool stepdad in the streaming world. So we got Succession coming back in 1 week from. Wait, I thought it was the 27th, so it must be the 26th. So it's coming back this coming Sunday, filling that 8 p.m. Eastern time slot, possibly 8 p.m. everywhere. Now that I think about it, because I think it doesn't matter. It's coming out Sunday night. And
time is a flat circle. Time is irrelevant.
What a wonderful callback to another HBO show, True Detective season 1.
Yep.
Love that. Wow. See, we're getting pretty good at this. What do you think's going on in this season of Succession?
Man, it's at this point it feels like it's anybody's guess. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that anybody watching has watched season 3, is up to date. So with the last episode and seeing the moves that Tommy Wamscams have gone out and done, I gotta say he's the front runner right now.
He's a timid snake in the grass, but you can't
not see that coming.
You can't think that this is the final season. You can't think that he's going to come out on top, right? It's got to be.
Saying he's out. He's in the lead right now. If there's a front runner, he is it.
Okay,
the actual blood children have all kind of shot themselves in the foot in one way or another. And all the while that's been happening, Tommy Boy's just been behind the scenes, hanging out, going to expensive clubs and spending the money and
his wife telling him he doesn't love him.
Right. Doesn't matter to him. He's got a plan, and he's kind of sticking to that plan. And I did not see it coming, but he's put himself right there to take over. So
Okay, so a couple points on that I don't have written down, so I'm going to shoot from the hip here. In the preview for this upcoming season, Logan pulls him aside, or they pull each other aside, and they're like, "Hey, we're good, right? Like, I'm kind of the front runner here." And Logan's like, "Yeah, man, if we're good, we're good." So that kind of shows me like, okay,
Well,
this is not built to last here. Like, Wams Gams is not. He didn't cement his place. He kind of threw some gravel down, and like
yeah,
he's going down a gravel road. It's not I-90 going throughout the country. Um, I think that this last season really ended with Kendall and the rest of the siblings. Roman and Shiv. And what's the oldest one's name?
who cares? He's
I
irrelevant.
don't think he's in this group at all. He's just doing his own thing. He's there for comedic relief,
I think
but
he's from a different mom, isn't he?
he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's the kind of like the outcast almost, you know.
Is he still
But if I
running
know anything
running for
about
president?
TV or movies, is that you can't count the outcast out because somehow there's always that plot twist, and he comes back with a vengeance of some sort. So
Which is
he's there,
exactly what happened at the end of season 3. So
right?
Tom came out on top. I feel like I really wish I remembered his name. What's his name?
Who?
The oldest.
The guy from Ferris Bueller?
Yes.
I don't know his name either because he's just like kind of whiny and just annoying. So like
He's
block him
going to
out.
come out on top.
I think it's going to be the dark horse. Yeah, just because the viewer's not expecting it at all, right? We're
Right.
not.
So
He's barely got his hat in the race. So
right, we
of course he
can't go into
wins.
the season expecting things are going to stay exactly the same. So we can't
Mhm.
expect that Tom is going to start the season on top and the season on top.
Continue. Yeah, he's not going to keep going up. His star keeps shining up.
And all the Roy kids are just going to end season 3 kind of on the bottom, kind of screwed out of their own company, and
Yeah.
then end season 4, the final season, with them on the bottom, screwed out of their company. That doesn't.
You want
I
to hear my
don't
take on it
see.
all?
I would like to hear your take on it all.
I think that there's going to be one winner of it all, obviously, and it's going to be Logan Roy. There
Yeah, but
will be no succession. He's keeping it.
he's keeping it until he dies, and he puts it in his will to sell it to Sandy and
himself.
Sandy, that weird
Yeah.
father-daughter combo that have the same name.
Maybe. Not the kids, though.
I don't think the kids are getting a piece of that pie.
No. No way.
Would this be a good time to splice in that video of Logan Roy and all the kids asking for some of his M&Ms?
And him just telling them all the fuck off.
Yeah. It's that
Yeah.
one dude doing all the impressions. I'll splice that in right there.
I don't want any of your candy, Dad.
Not even my M&Ms?
Wait, is this real?
Hold out your hand. Fuck you! Fuck off! God damn it!
I don't. Yeah, I'm really confused about where they go from this season, because I feel like they're all in a box right now, and I don't feel like they're going to just stay in that box, in a linear box, for the rest of the season. Dark horse, real dark horse, fan favorite. You can't make a Tomlet without cracking a few Gregs. What's going on with Greg?
Yeah, they keep writing Greg into scenes, and he seemed like kind of a long shot, distant relative, sort of goofy character. But him and Tom, their relationship, I think that there was a lot of foreshadowing early on in the series, and I think that's going to come back in play in season 4. And Greg makes a significant contribution to the season. So
How
I
many
love Greg.
times?
I love
How
Greg.
many times do you think that Tom and Greg smooch this season?
I would set the over under at 7.
That's pretty high. I was going to say 0.5.
I think it's
And
higher.
I'm taking the over. I think they smooch.
I'm taking the over on 7. So it's a lot of smooching between those two.
They just become a full-on relationship.
Yeah. The show shifts from a drama to a rom-com,
which
a buddy comedy.
I believe there is a romantic comedy type of trailer on YouTube as well, which I can splice in a little cut of that and throw a link down in the description of that one as well, where Tom and Greg are intertwined in this romance, which
we're all trying to do the right thing. Of course we are. We have a bond.
Greg, I'm having the time of my life.
it may be going on and we're just not seeing it. But I'm personally really excited for this season.
Absolutely. Which I want to point out that a couple weeks ago you mentioned you weren't into the fantasy genre of show or movie, but Succession is kind of the ultimate fantasy of just being ultra rich and living your best life through that. So is it a fantasy?
No, man, that's real life. That's what I'm rising and grinding for every single day.
Yeah.
Getting out of bed at 4 a.m. and working out so I can someday live that Succession lifestyle. Give that to my kids.
All right. Love it.
Shout out my cat right here.
Hey, what's up, cat?
She's going to be getting this inheritance.
Nice.
Just because I'm grinding every single day.
Nice. Grinding.
So from Succession, we go into a topic that we've covered a few times. It's Bird of the Week.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bird in the sky. Look at him fly. Why?
So it's my turn to go first this week.
Beautiful.
It's my turn to go first, and I got a pick that I don't think anybody's expecting.
Uh-oh.
My Bird of the Week, I was thinking maybe, okay, let's get cute with it. How about the Florida Atlantic Owls? How about them? The Owls, we gotta love them. They had Lane Kiffin for a little bit. They had Howard Schellenberger, whatever his name was. He went there from Miami. He resurrected their football program. Not even resurrected. He built their football program. The Florida Atlantic Owls, maybe them. But no, we're going to take a different bird this week. We're going with the Kingfisher. So the Kingfisher is a bird that lives all over the world, but it does travel down here to Southern California in the colder months up north. It's a bird that I came across a couple of weeks ago when I was down at the Bolsa Chica Reserve. It's a beautiful bird. It's got really bright blue feathers. And what it does is it flies up on top of trees. First of all, backtrack a little bit. It nests underground or in little holes in the trees. So it's a dirty bird. It lives underground. It's pretty crazy. Bird. Shout out Jamal Anderson.
Yeah. Falcon, dirty bird.
He's a dirty bird. So he flies up to the top of the tree. He looks around in the water, and then he just nosedives down in the water and impales little minnows. He'll eat 15 to 16 minnows a day just by dive bombing straight into them. The Kingfisher, awesome bird.
Incredible. And that's like embedded in their DNA just to do that. I just always find that fascinating, the things that are just built into animals' DNA. Like that bird is born knowing that it is made to nosedive into bodies of water and impale minnows to live.
Yes. Like they are monogamous. They do raise the chicks between the two mates. And do they like bring it up into the tree and then like show it like, all right, we're going to dive down? I don't think so. I think it's a matter of like the little chicks. They sit on the sidelines and they're like, oh, wait, hold on. What's mom and dad doing up there? All right. That's my life.
Yeah. This is what I'm built for.
Yes. So the Kingfisher, absolutely love that bird. I saw one in real life and it is magnificent. Huge beak on it. Beautiful blue feathers. Check it out at your local Bolsa Chica Reserve in Huntington Beach, California.
Your local Bolsa Chica Reserve.
Is the Kingfisher. What do you got, T-Bone? What's your bird of the week?
You got the local bird there, the Kingfisher that you can find. What's the local Boca Vista Reserve?
Bolsa Chica.
Bolsa Chica Reserve, local there. I've got a local bird to Illinois. Specifically Lake Forest, Illinois. It's a bird that actually kind of a virtuoso in violin since age 4. Graduated from Northwestern University, just a little south of, or I'm sorry, a little east of where they were raised in Lake Forest.
Hold on.
With a,
You're telling me
with
a bird
Yep.
graduated from Northwestern?
Yep. Graduated from Northwestern in violin performance to boot. So got a violin playing virtuoso bird here. Got their start in a little band called the Squirrel Nut Zippers back in the day. You remember that song that went, "In the afterlife, you'll be able to..." It was kind of a swingy, jazzy tune.
Should I say yes to this?
If you want, if you haven't heard of it, it's fine. But it was like
haven't
a
heard of it.
semi-popular song in the alternative world. But they went on to solo fame, put out, I would say, I'd probably say at least 20 albums by now. Possibly the best whistler alive.
Whoa. Is it
That's
Flo
saying a
Rida?
lot. That's saying a lot for a bird. And this bird is Andrew Bird.
I'm pausing for the applause that I'm going to cut in there.
I just dropped the mic. 2 mics.
Is he from Illinois? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's from Lake Forest, up north. North
Yeah,
Shore.
wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Every time I'm thinking about bird of the week, I'm like, well, maybe Andrew Bird, but I don't really like Andrew Bird. So I'm glad that you swooped in and took him.
I swooped. Nice bird reference.
Thank you. So the
I
feather
like
in your
that you were
cap
thinking
there
about Andrew
for
Bird, though, because that means that we're both kind of on the same wavelength when it comes to the bird of the week, that we're both pondering at least the possibilities of bird of the week.
yeah, I mean, it could be as wild as you want to take it. It doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
I picked a real bird. You picked a real bird in your first one. And then we kind of went all over the place. I picked Hoot's
All over
Wings
the
at
place.
one point. So tell me a little bit more about Andrew Bird.
Did you know he was in season 4 of Fargo?
No, did I even watch? Was that the one with Chris Rock?
Yeah, it was the most recent one. I think it was the last one they're going to do. But they actually wrote a character specifically for Andrew Bird by the name of Thurman Smutney.
There's a new show on Peacock.
Called Thurman Smutney.
No, no, it's got like a Lady Gaga type name. Let me look it up. Poker Face. Oh, it's called Poker Face. I just remember.
Is it
that.
with what's her face?
I don't know her name.
The redhead girl.
She's got like a really raspy voice.
I really love her. Why can't I think of her name right now? That's so bad. She was married to Fred Armisen.
Probably.
No, she was. But what was her name?
Okay, you look that up. My point is
Natasha Lyonne. No, Natasha Lyonne.
Okay, well, can I get to my point now? Can I talk?
Well, you have to figure out the girl's name in the show first. Anyway, yes.
Show a little respect. They had a guy on there. They wrote in a part for the singer of the Mountain Goats.
Oh yeah.
You ever listen to them?
Nope.
What? Really?
Never heard of him.
The Mountain Goats?
Never heard of him. Are you making this up?
No, he's a singer. He
To test me to see if I would say, "Oh yeah, I've totally heard of the Mountain Goats." You're like, "I made him up, you idiot."
buddy, you're killing our street cred right now. Nobody's gonna respect us if you don't know the Mountain Goats.
I never heard of the Mountain Goats.
I don't think they have any hit songs, but they're a very like indie, if you know, you know type of band.
It's not gonna hurt our street cred. We're good.
Which is a great segue. Mountain Goats and Andrew Bird flying into music talk. All right, but before we dive into the music segment, let's talk first about our website, againstthespread.home.blog. Again, we're going to move to the .com industry here soon, but do be sure to check out our website. I just posted a sicko blog about the last week's Supercross that happened this past Saturday night. Absolute heartbreaker for Aaron Plessinger. Cannot believe what happened there. He was leading the full 20 laps. It's 20 laps plus, or 20 minutes plus 1 lap. And he ended up going down with a lap and a half to go. It was going to be his first win of his career. He was 5 seconds ahead of everybody else, and he ended up going down. So absolute heartbreaker. Be sure to check out our blog, againstthespread.home.blog. There it is. And yeah, check that blog out. T-Bone's got a couple blogs in the works. What do you got in the works?
I definitely have my albums of the month coming later on this month. That'll be the last day of the month. That's where I listen to every single album that comes out this month. My quest to listen to every album of the year is still in full effect. I am approaching 200 albums listened to in 2023. So we're on pace for a good, 800 or so, 1,000 albums listened to this month. So I'll definitely have that up later this month for albums of March. Will's got a March Madness piece up. We'll have some baseball analysis up as soon as the opening day kicks off. We'll dive into NBA playoffs once those get underway. We'll talk NFL offseason. We got all kinds of stuff. So if you like what you hear on the podcast, we go even further in depth on the blog.
Absolutely. NBA playoffs, the most exciting time of the year per Will, our fellow blogger there. Excited to hear him defend that take. He is coming onto the podcast soon. He was going to come on to this episode, but some things came up. But he's going to be coming on soon to talk about some NBA, some NCAA basketball, and most importantly, his Pittsburgh Steelers with the AFC North. We're going to talk about that a little bit, see where those teams are kind of falling into place. I hope he's treating our boy Mitch Trubisky well over there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we talked NFC North in episode 1, I want to say, and we'll eventually get to every division as we head into the next season of football. Will definitely has some great takes on the AFC North. That's his team is in that division, so we'll have each division broken down for you as we move through episodes.
Absolutely. The off season is a very fluid time, so there's a lot of teams to go through, and we're working our way through. But we really wanted to bring Will on, and so we're waiting on him to hop on here. We're really excited for that. I personally, and you personally, have never talked to him out loud before.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what he looks like. I don't know what he sounds like. We're just strictly communicating via text. So yeah, well, it'd be exciting for not only the viewers to have him on, but for us as well, for sure.
Yeah, he's got some long hair, I think.
Sweet.
He's got some kids at home, so you can relate to that. Maybe you guys can talk about that a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So into the music topic we go. You talked about some of the albums that you've liked or you've talked about the number of albums that you've listened to this month. What's sticking out to you, and what are you excited about coming up? Because I got a few that are on my docket. That this Friday is a very big Friday for me. The 24th, we got Lana Del Rey, we got August Burns Red, and we got Fall Out Boy. Your Chicago boys. But I'll let you go first.
Yeah. Before I get into what I'm excited about that's upcoming, I've really gotten into a good amount of albums already this month. And I mentioned last week the Kali Uchis album, and that's still my front runner for album of the month. The album is fantastic. I've revisited it now a couple of times, and it's outstanding. Lil Pump. Have you ever listened to Lil Pump?
Yeah, Gucci Gang.
Gucci Gang.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I really enjoyed that part of my life.
Man, absolutely. He's got a new one out that came out this past week, and it is full of heaters. I had it on 11 on my first listen through. It is solid.
Remember a song D Rose?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's a Chicago favorite right there. So he put out a new one. It's solid, man. I really enjoyed it. It's a good one for driving around with the windows down, sunroof open, blasted to your maximum capacity there.
Is it better than Harvard Dropout with an E? Harvard Dropout? That was the one that was. That one was the one right after his big one. It was right after, a purple cover with him like sitting in a graduation robe.
So I skipped that one. I did the first one and then skipped that one and got to the new one. So
you shouldn't skip that one. That one's fun.
I have to get back to it now.
Yeah, add that into the docket.
M83 album is great. If you listen to M83 in the past, you kind of know what they sound like. They don't veer much from what made them successful. They do what they do, and they do it really, really well. So that album I recommend right now as well. And I came across something interesting when we were talking about Manchester Orchestra a couple weeks back. The whole time we were talking about them, I thought we were talking
You're
about
talking about Unknown Mortal
Orchestra.
And you were, hold on. Were you talking about, okay, so every single time I would put on a playlist from Spotify, they would throw the song Honeybee on there. And it's like, okay, this is a good song, but come on, Spotify. There's other songs out there. Every single time they would put that song on there. They came out with a new album, 5 or V, if you will. What'd you think of that one?
I thought it was really, really good. It's a good listen. Easy listening electro, just kind of poppy, but not popular music. I enjoyed that one a lot, to be honest with you. There was one I'm trying to pull up right now that I just discovered. Well, not discovered, but came across. I wasn't aware of. So I'm going to pull up the name of it right now. Well, I got deleted from my list, but
oh, that's a shame.
That is a shame. Dang it.
I think Unknown Mortal Orchestra has come up with some really fun sounds over the years. I don't care for any of their albums in full, but anytime one of their songs does come on, including Honeybee is a great song. A very
kind of
understated kind of song. But they got their song American Guilt, very fun song. None of their other songs are coming to mind at the moment, but that being said, I do really enjoy what they came out with in the past, and this new album is kind of more of the same, which isn't a negative. I think that I really enjoyed what I listened to. Nothing was just like, I hate the song, let's skip it, which is
yeah.
I'm a tough person to please as far as new albums come out. So that album I enjoyed, and it's probably going to work its way into the rotation at some point.
For sure. And I found the one I was thinking of and I was looking for. It's Constant Smiles. And we mentioned M83. It gives kind of M83 vibes, but it tells the story of Kenneth Anger, the filmmaker from back in the day. And the album's fantastic. It's my best discovery that I hadn't heard of prior to this year album. So that one I would definitely recommend. Constant Smiles, Kenneth Anger. Really, really good stuff. Most fun album though that I've come across is T-Pain. On top of the covers, he's singing the hits. He's covering everyone from Sam Cooke to Journey to Sam Smith to Chris Stapleton to Black Sabbath, and it is just an absolute treat.
Yeah, T-Pain is one of those guys that, like, he came up with auto-tune. Everyone thought, oh, he's just auto-tune. He's not any good. But it's one of those things where auto-tune is more of an instrument to him than or like a vocal
the same way
effect.
for like Lil Yachty and Kanye on 808s and Heartbreak. Like it is an instrument they've decided to use that.
I would even say it's more like using a distortion pedal or a delay pedal on the guitar. Like
absolutely,
I'm going to make this sonically pleasing using my voice as the instrument.
Right. Totally.
Yeah, I he has an amazing singing voice outside of auto-tune, and that's finally really being discovered.
Did you listen to it?
Sure haven't.
Oh, I thought you did. But he does not use the auto-tune on the covers, which is kind of cool. It's like, okay, T-Pain, all this time you've been using the auto-tune, but you've been hiding this beautiful voice that you have. Like, what are you doing?
Wonder what his real name is. What's his real name? Do you know?
Terrence Payne.
I was gonna say, is it Terrence? That's your name.
Yeah, I don't know if that's his name or not. Let's see. T-Pain real name. Fahim Rashad Najm.
That's not Terrence Payne at all.
Nope, I made that up. Interesting. Fahim Rashad Najm.
Well, big ol' shout out to Fahim Shahad Najm.
Rashad, not
Rashad Najim for his newest album. Over the covers?
on top of the covers.
On top of the covers.
He's on
Close
top of it.
enough.
He's on top of those covers.
Really cool stuff. Be
Yeah,
sure to
super
check
fun.
that one out.
Album cover alone will make it worth the click on Spotify.
I'm gonna staple that one in there.
Nice.
What else is popping out at you this week?
This week, so the 24th, is that what we're talking about coming up on the 24th? I am looking forward to the Depeche Mode album, definitely.
Yeah. So one of their guys died.
Yes, and they're dedicating it to him, Memento Mori, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that should be really good. Lana Del Rey, you mentioned. I'm definitely excited about that as well. I love her. I think she's a great artist. Right, great songwriter. Just you never really know what you're gonna get from an album from Lana Del Rey. So I'm excited what she does on this one.
Yeah, if I could interject just a second. Yeah,
yes.
Lana Del Rey, like her last few albums, starting with Norman fucking Rockwell. From there, Chemtrails Over the Country Club, and the newest one, Blue Banisters. All three of those albums together have just been the soundtrack of my last few years. They're just so emotionally filled. I feel like a lot of her older stuff, from Honeymoon to Ultraviolence, they were really flat. They didn't really, nothing popped off the page with me. But I feel like these newer albums have shown a lot more growth, a lot more, like I said, emotion, where she's singing much more soulfully with these piano ballads. And then like,
she's coming into her own for sure.
Yeah, Blue Banisters had some like weird like hip hop inspired beats like thrown in there, with Dealer and The End of Arcadia. Those songs alone are amazing. I'm really excited for this one. The singles that she's dropped so far have been really cool and seem to be along those same paths. So I'm very excited for this new album to come out.
It'll be a complete surprise for me because I typically don't like to listen to singles before the albums drop. I like to listen and save those to listen to how they fit into the project as an entirety. So I'm going into it blindly, but fully excited. So yeah, that's my number one most anticipated album of the week for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
However,
the other
I just
two
came across this Jeff
go ahead.
Goldblum and the Mildred Snitzer Orchestra, and I usually save all EPs until the end of the year. Those are all the EPs that I missed out on during the year. I typically don't dive into the EP world until like the last couple weeks of December. But Jeff Goldblum, with name recognition alone, I think I'm going to have to check that one out on Friday.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Boy, I don't know. Who's the Bad Santa guy? Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
I sent you his album or one of his songs that he tried to do. And I just kind of think of all these actors turned singers in the same sphere. And Billy Bob Thornton's song is god awful. And I can't help but think that Jeff Goldblum, this is going to be the same thing, where it just kind of rides on like, hey, you like my persona, you're gonna love my music. And it doesn't translate.
Yeah, we'll see.
Very low hopes for that one.
Yeah. Low hopes. We got low hopes.
Nice. There's two albums outside of Lana Del Rey that I'm looking forward to this Friday. August Burns Red, they're a band that they've made the exact same album the last 5 albums or so. Their first album that they came out with, Thrill Seeker, was unbelievable and still holds up to this day. Messengers followed that one, where they truly featured their new vocalist. Thrill Seeker had a different vocalist on it, but Messengers had a different vocalist. It was very, very much more polished. They had these off-time breakdowns throughout, and they've kind of been making the exact same album for years. That being said, it is still a cool album that they keep making. So they have a new album dropping this Friday. I'll check it out. Maybe it's a good album for the gym. Maybe it has a little bit more to it than what they've done in the past. Obviously, they're incredibly talented musicians in the metal sphere, and even just on their own, they're incredibly talented musicians. But that being said, not the highest hopes in the world, but I look forward to being pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the nice thing about listening to everything is that I've been surprised by things I had no idea was even coming out, and then you give it a spin. You're like, oh, okay, this works. This is good stuff.
Yeah. The other one that I'm really looking forward to is Fall Out Boy. I came into their fandom really late in the game. I didn't like them when I was in high school. I didn't like them pretty much afterwards until I listened to their one album with the kids smoking on the front. Should have wrote that down, but you know the album. It's the one with the kids smoking in the front. They got a lot more poppy on that album. It was very fun. And then I kind of worked backwards into their discography. Their album, I've never said it out loud before, so I'm gonna take a shot at it. Foyer à Deux.
I've never said it out loud before.
Nope, it's
No, I'm just kidding. That would be fitting for them though.
honestly, it would work because then I wouldn't have to try and say Foyer à Deux. Is that right?
Sure.
Did I say that right?
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah. That one's a masterpiece through and through. And then American Beauty, American Psycho had some amazingly fun songs on it. They took a big old misstep with their next album. It was a purple one. It's not even worth mentioning the name because it was not good at all. But the singles that they've released for this new album have been very fun, very much a return to form, very much a return to, hey, we have instruments. We're going to play some guitars. We're going to play some drums and not just rely on electronic sounds. So I'm really, really looking forward to this new album by them. We'll see what happens come Friday. So
yeah,
that's what I'm looking forward to this week.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely gonna give it a run too and see how that turns out. I am super pumped for Danny Brown, JPEG Mafia, Scaring the Hose, Volume 1.
Whoa, I didn't even know about that. Danny Brown's crazy.
Danny Brown's
love that
nuts,
dude.
I love Danny Brown. he's absolutely insane in all the best ways. JPEG Mafia, same kind of vibe. So I'm really interested to see what they produce together.
Yeah,
from full of bangers and full of hits. So
from 30 to Old to Atrocity Exhibition, that's an amazing 3-album run from Danny Brown. I didn't care for You Know What I'm Saying, but there is some good songs on it. He's obviously spitting out some really great rhymes on that one, but it wasn't my favorite on the beat side of things. Atrocity Exhibition is one of those albums that I revisit every so often, and it's like, whoa, holy cow, this guy was on another level with this one. Old is such a fun time of my life. I saw him after that album came out. He was playing a bunch of those songs, a bunch of like unreleased songs, and then some songs from 30. Man, what a fun dude.
Yeah, I saw him at Lollapalooza one year, and then I left a show and was getting on the train at Union Station on the Metro. And who do I see boarding that train? Danny Brown.
Get out of here.
Yeah, we rode the train together.
Did you talk to him?
No, I didn't. I was too shy.
No, that's okay.
Danny Brown, if you're watching this, come on the show. We'll talk. We'll hang.
We should shoot him a message. When I was in Las Vegas, gambling all my hopes and dreams away, I was sitting there. I wasn't even playing video poker at that point, but all the people I was there with were, and I look at the bar next to me, and the guy from Pawn Stars, the son from Pawn Stars, I think his name is Corey. Sure, that seems like his name. He was there, and a dude was taking a picture of them. Yeah, and I was like, "There's that dude.
Yeah, there's that guy from that show."
Why I bring that up is like, yeah, you don't need to take a picture with everybody you see.
Yeah, just living their life, you know. Celebrities they just want to live their life too.
Yeah. That guy seemed like a dick, though.
Yeah. Should have punched him in the face.
Honestly,
Then you would have been on, not only got a picture with him, you would have got timeless internet footage of you knocking him out.
I don't know if I could have knocked him out, but I would have gave it the old college try. You know what I'm saying?
It's all you can do. It's all you can do.
Just knocking it. Damn it, Trumley, you're an idiot. That's one of my
Uppercut.
uppercut right to him. I feel like Chumley would have hung out with us all night for sure, but Corey, not so much.
Well,
maybe
right.
Rick. He would have smoked some Marlboro Reds with us.
Oh,
all my
God.
Pawn Star fans, they know the drill. They know what's going on. They know what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, Marlboro Reds were the first cigarettes I smoked regularly. Actually, Newports and then Marlboro Reds for a good year when I was about 14 years old.
Marlboro Reds are a hangover in a box.
Disgusting.
They're horrible.
They really are.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
They're bad news. They're bad news. What are you smoking on tonight, T-Bone?
Smoking on?
Yeah.
Just the Newport cigarette.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. The menthols?
Soul Faithful right there. Yeah. I always say
Newport
if it
softback
for Newport cigarettes, I wouldn't smoke cigarettes at all. If I'm out, if I somehow run out of cigarettes and I'm at a bar or out for the night and I need to bum a cigarette, I will actually not smoke versus smoke another cigarette.
Really?
So,
wow. You're a faithful man.
I know. So if they end up banning Newport cigarettes like they did in Canada,
in California,
I will quit smoking.
And California.
They banned them in California too?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Not that I was a Newport smoker.
It's gonna make its way to Chicago, and I'll be smoke free. Smoke free since 2023.
There you go. That rhymes. That's pretty good.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to be a Marlboro 27s or a Camel Lights guy.
Marlboro man.
Yeah, those were the days, you know. I felt so cool.
Yeah, it is
nothing
cool.
cooler than smoking a cigarette. Yeah. Smoke some cigs, kids. Speaking of cool,
Joe Camel graphic in there.
Yeah, Camel Lights. Yeah. I'll throw Joe Camel up there.
Joey Cams.
Speaking of being really cool, Tom Cruise, pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
It's time to go cruising.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
This is the one where they're Always Sunny where they're doing the dance. Looks like they're driving a car. So that's my cruising.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So this week on Cruising, we watched Interview with a Vampire. Boy, was this a terrible pick. I'm starting to question, was cruising a bad idea? Because we're 1 out of 2. That's 50%.
Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow was awesome.
Yes.
Interview with a Vampire, certifiably not awesome.
Stinker.
There was one point in the movie where I felt like, okay, this has to be over soon. I flipped the up button on HBO and just to check how much time was left. An hour and a half was left.
Man.
I'm like, oh boy, this is bad.
I wonder if we did it at the exact same time. Because I remember having that same thought. Was like, how much longer can this? How long is this interview? Like, why? It was a lot of pointless information, a lot of really useless scenes. And I know we're going cruising, but it kind of became a Brad Pitt movie versus a Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, this shouldn't have even counted.
No, I let's just pretend it never happened, because I really didn't enjoy it thoroughly. I really thought it was going to be better than it ended up being. I
had very low hopes.
Yeah, catapulted careers for Kirsten Dunst and Antonio Banderas, but Tom Cruise's character was kind of a dick too.
Yeah, he sure was. He was very controlling.
I'm an asshole.
Wasn't a very friendly guy. So he was just a vampire. Just to give you the synopsis.
And the ending was ridiculous.
The ending. So the entire premise of it being an interview didn't add anything to the movie
at all.
Why didn't they just call it like a story of a vampire?
Yeah,
and
then
just left out the whole interview
yeah,
part because
and then
that added
Christian
nothing.
Slater's character irrelevant.
Completely irrelevant. Oh, and then he gets bitten by the vampire at the end. So
Okay,
what?
cool.
I don't care about this dude.
No, it was silly. There was no investment in his character whatsoever. And then not only does Tom Cruise, bite him and invite him into the vampire world, but then he just cruises off in the drop top. Like,
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
it was he was cruising.
He was cruising.
Cruise is cruising.
That might be the new intro to this segment. Him driving off in the drop top Mustang.
Yeah, I guess I could see why it was popular when it was, because 1994 was I want to say Buffy the Vampire Slayer, not the show with Sarah Michelle Gellar, but the movie with Christy Swanson was out, and it was kind of a big, kind of popular genre at the time. And Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise were big movie stars, but it just didn't work. It didn't work for me.
No, not at all.
It borderlined on like ultra corny.
Yes, it had a very like high school play feel to it.
Yeah.
Where it was like, okay, I'm just watching some local community center do a musical right now. And it was,
which was funny because they actually had that element in the movie too.
Yes, they did.
Where the vampires.
I thought that part was probably the best part.
Yeah, they were vampires acting as humans, acting as vampires, which I thought was probably the most clever part of the movie.
Yes, where they took that one girl and she was like running all over the stage, like, somebody please help me because these guys are going to kill me. Yeah. And all the audience was like, oh, I don't know if I
part of the show or what.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
And
this is in poor taste, even for vampires.
Yeah. And that part of the movie made me pause, like, wait, hold on. Is this like something like mildly clever? Because the rest of the movie has just been so ham-fisted, down your throat, just like, oh, they're vampires. They like to suck blood.
Right. How many blood-sucking scenes were there? There was like too many.
Too many. There was too many.
It was overkill. And Anne Rice is turning her grave at her book, turning into such a mockery. I don't even know if it was the acting that was horrible. It was just I feel like there was just a lot of filler in there. And when you call a movie Interview with the Vampire, I don't know, you expect something to be revealed within that interview, and nothing was really revealed other than Brad Pitt's life story as a vampire, which the movie itself could have just been Brad Pitt's life as a vampire, Tom Cruise's life as a vampire. That was it. The interview aspect of it was completely unnecessary.
You could have condensed that down to 5 minutes of, I got turned into a vampire. Okay, that part, that's there. But then, I had to like feed on people. Didn't really like it.
Yeah, the vampire genre in general sort of intrigues me. Like, I'm curious, like, 2 quick scenarios, I guess, on vampires, if you will. Either it's made up or it's real. Both scenarios are equally mind-blowing, right? If vampires were real, that's crazy. And if someone just came up with this idea that vampires are real, and then there's been so many different vampire movies and books and stories and shows and everything, it just continues to go on and perpetuate that. That's also kind of crazy.
I feel like one is definitely crazier than the other. I'll let you decide which one.
What are some of your favorite vampire themed shows or movies off the dome?
Oh shoot, what's it called? I should really get better at name recognition and like callbacks.
What We Do in the Shadows?
How did you know I was going to say that?
I knew you were thinking of that.
It's the only one I like.
It's so good. It's so hilarious.
It's very funny. It's one of those shows that like I put on and I'm like, oh, this is hilarious. Why don't I watch this more often? And then I forget about it. And then cycle repeats.
Yeah, exactly. It's good. It's
Do you have any other vampire things that you like?
I liked Blade.
I liked Salem's Lot.
Blade series was pretty good.
The movie Salem's Lot. I'm sorry, the book Salem's Lot.
Wasn't that about witches?
No. It's vampires.
Were vampires?
You're thinking of the Salem witch trials.
Salem. That's why I thought it was. I never saw it. I
Yeah.
always assumed it was witches.
Yeah, Salem's Lot was
From
about
Dusk Till
Jerusalem's
Dawn was
Lot. It was
good.
by Stephen King. What was it?
From Dusk Till Dawn. It was a Robert Rodriguez film. I think I want to say Quentin Tarantino wrote the screenplay. Lost Boys was pretty good. Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
Young Kiefer.
Yeah.
Queen of the Damned with Aaliyah.
Sounds like you got a lot that you enjoy. You're a big
Aaliyah.
fan of the vampire genre.
No, I compiled a list because as I was watching Interview with a Vampire, I was thinking about other vampire related things because I was just so not interested in the movie that I was like, man, what other good vampire things are there? Count Chocula cereal.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah.
I do like that. With the marshmallows, the chocolate puffed rice.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Very good stuff.
Good
I got a qualm.
character.
I got a qualm. I don't want to get too far away from the movie. Okay, so I got two qualms. So not forget, I wasn't paying attention why he had to kill all the other vampires. But he chose to by putting like gasoline or something like that on their coffins while they slept.
Yeah.
And he burned them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but he also burned Tom Cruise earlier in the movie.
Correct.
And Tom Cruise lived on.
Yep.
So aren't those other vampires going to just live on through that?
Probably.
Okay. And then 300 years passed, 300 to 500 years passed. And like they never came back to like figure out what he was doing, nothing like that. They just glossed over like 500 years.
Yeah, I think that they wanted to focus more on the relationship between Louis and Lestat. And when he burned him, that was the character that they were writing the movie about. If they were to do a sequel or any other follow-up, maybe those other vampires he burned down would come back. But in keeping
I feel like they'd be really mad.
But keeping theme with the movie's inability to really tie everything together, they didn't really do that with those characters either. He burned them, he left, and they moved on.
Yeah, I thought that was a very big plot hole.
Yeah. But
Boy,
he did
I did
it
not
out of
like this movie.
revenge. You know, he was shamed and embarrassed by them, and he wanted to get revenge.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly, that was an unnecessary scene. Even, I guess, this whole interaction with Antonio Banderas's vampire and his crew didn't really need to be in the movie. Again.
Okay, if you want to keep stripping it back, what did need to be in the movie? Not much.
Yeah, I mean, Interview with a Vampire, I was kind of looking it to be more of revealing of some secrets and the origin of it all. Brad Pitt's character, Louis, was asking, like, what's the origin of all of this? They never even got to that.
No, it was just like he was just like, I kind of wanted.
The main question of the movie was never even answered.
No, he was like, oh, I kind of wanted to die when I was like 20.
Right.
And then suddenly this dude was sucking on my neck.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. And he didn't even get to die. All he wanted to do was die. And now he's immortal. That's the exact opposite of what he wanted.
Interview with a Vampire. Certifiably bad.
So you got the randomizer for next week's Tom Cruise winner?
Yep, and we're going to pick number 4. I'm excited for this one.
No, number 3. This is our third cruising.
Right. But I'm going to do 4 randomizers. There's 1, 2,
gotcha.
3. Are you ready? Here's number 4. Here's our pick for this week.
What is it?
We're cruising. Oh, what the fuck? I never even heard of this one. The next week's cruising is called Cocktail.
Oh, that's classic Cruise. Yeah. I want to say that's one of his very first like big roles in movies that he was actually like that, like put him on the map.
We're about to find out with Cocktail on next week's cruising.
I've never seen it, but I remember that from way back when. I want to say that was his very first big thing. It's like from the 80s.
We're gonna find out. Boy, I'm not excited for this one either. But hey, I've been surprised before.
Low expectations could turn into a surprising outcome.
I like that. All right, I got to restart the meeting.
I just looked it up real quick. It actually won the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Picture.
Cocktail? No.
Worst Picture.
I don't know how it could get worse than Interview with a Vampire. But here we are, Tom Cruise, the last great movie star of our generation. Not even of our generation, possibly of all time. We're watching, what is it?
Cocktail. Golden Razzie Award winner for Worst Picture.
Do you know anything about this movie?
I think he's a bartender. It's a tale of his escapades as a bartender. And it was
Interview
like
with
his
the bartender
into Hollywood. Like that was his big moment of arrival on the scene.
Tom Cruise's big rival on the scene.
Yeah.
And it was the worst movie of the year.
Yep, won Golden Razzie for Worst Picture of the Year. So,
woo, Cocktail coming in hot with we're gaining viewers from this one for sure as we review Cocktail on next week's Cruising. Boy, am I excited for that one. Be sure to check out our blog, guys. We got againstthespread.home.blog, where we're blogging about many things from Supercross, my favorite thing to blog, to the Bulls, to Chicago Bears, to overall NFL stuff, to NCAA tournament, all over the board. We're blogging anything that comes to our heart. Obviously, we cannot forget T-Bone's music blog. He's got a big one coming out at the end of the month for his favorite music of the month. Click, click. And yeah, so coming in hot out of Cruising, all aboard the fantasy raft.
Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll and drift away.
The moment we've all been waiting for. I know I've been waiting for it. It's the fantasy raft. Welcome back to the fantasy raft. All aboard. We're talking about the top 5 film directors of all time. And T-Bone, it's your turn to flip a coin because I got a cat on my lap and I can't grab a coin. So I hope you have one handy.
I do not. I can grab one if you want to give me 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Oh, man.
All right. All right. We've got.
I get to call it this time.
Where the hell did this coin come from? Look at this coin. No cash value.
Is that from Emporium?
I think so.
It doesn't matter. We don't need cash for this.
All right, no cash value will be tails then. Heads.
Okay, I'm calling tails. I'm calling tails.
Tails is no cash value. No cash value. It is tails.
All right, perfect.
First pick.
The number 1 pick on the board for best film directors of all time. I'm taking the Coen brothers. I'm taking Fargo. I'm taking No Country for Old Men. I'm taking Burn After Reading. I'm taking The Big Lebowski. My favorite films of all time. Honestly, if I were making a top 10 films of all time, for my personal favorites, the Coen brothers get at least 4 spots on there, which are the movies that I just said.
Nice.
Fargo,
Big Lebowski
No
would be on
Country
my
for Old
list
Men.
for sure.
Big Lebowski might be number 1 for me.
Yeah, same.
Burn After Reading, incredible movies. Those are easily my favorite movies. Favorite directors, Coen brothers, the dark humor in the movies. I absolutely love it.
Did you say Burn After Reading?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a great pick for number 1. Easy slot in for number 1. I think that's a great call. Definitely had him on my board here as a possible pick for number 1, but the coin flip, determines otherwise.
Hey, the coin will do what the coin does.
The coin does what the coin does.
I just had to sprint up to the board with that pick. I'm sorry I didn't intro the segment too much, but yeah, we're talking about our favorite 5 film directors of all time. The Coen brothers are far and away my number one. I got a list of, what is this? A list of eight guys. And like 4 of them not huge on. So I'm really crossing my fingers hoping that you don't pick the rest of them. So what do you got for number 2? Pick number 2.
We drafted rock band, iconic American rock bands in episode 1. We're drafting our top movie directors, film directors, and when I think of film, I think of my favorite movies. I literally named my son after this film director. His middle name is Quentin. I'm taking Quentin Tarantino.
That's where Bodie got his name?
Yeah, Bodie Quentin.
Huh.
Bodie Quentin Carlton. That's him after Tarantino. I mean, we're talking about Reservoir Dogs, talking about Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill 1 and 2. We got Jackie Brown, Django Unchained, Inglourious Bastards, Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like the list goes on and on and on and on. We mentioned From Dusk Till Dawn earlier. He wrote that screenplay. The thing I really love about Quentin Tarantino is that he has created this universe that gets talked about a lot, that he intertwines a lot of the plots and a lot of the characters from movie to movie, which I think is super cool. Little Easter eggs throughout those movies that you can find. I love his style. I love his ability to create these stories kind of out of thin air that exist only within his universe, and the gore scenes that he's become known for sometimes hits you out of nowhere. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you watch. It kind of moves slowly, and all of a sudden, the gore scene pops up, and this dog is eating people. It's like crazy. So like, I love Quentin Tarantino. I always will. He'll always be my number one, and I am thrilled that he slipped into my lap for my number 1 pick.
Yeah, that was my number 2 pick. I cannot fault you for that one. I absolutely love his movies. Everything. I can't say everything that he's done, but a large majority of his pictures. I didn't care for Kill Bill, but
oh really?
Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Bastards, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Django Unchained, great flicks. Yeah, love Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have a certain style to them. Always has at least one foot. A very heavy foot scene in there. Shout out to his foot fetish. Love Tarantino.
You can't give another man's girl a foot rub.
Nice. Pulp Fiction. Love it.
Sure.
Great pick.
Yeah. His dialogue is second to none. Also, he works in some of the greatest dialogue of any film director in history. So I'm a sucker for words, and his ability to write words into the construct of a film is second to none.
It says a lot of N-words in his movies, like a lot.
Well, it's a powerful word.
Can you defend that at all? I mean,
I think that he creates conversation from his movies. And if you're not doing that as an artist, you're failing as an artist. So you want to push the boundary. You want to address a word that has been in the lexicon of the country. I think that it's important to address and not shy away from. So I give him credit. I give him credit for it.
Hey, fair enough. Good explanation. I kind of put you on the spot there, and just seeing how you would wrangle yourself out of there, and you did. So Quentin Tarantino off the board.
Nice.
Okay.
Who's your number 2 overall pick?
My number 2 overall pick is going by value and not by my personal love. I'm going Wes Anderson.
Oh, you bastard.
Yeah, I had to get him on my board. Wes Anderson, I think that there's something about his movies that I hate, and a decent amount about his movies that I enjoy. Fantastic Mr. Fox and Moonrise Kingdom are my number 1 and 2 of his movies. I really enjoyed Isle of Dogs as well, a fairly recent movie of his.
Mm-hmm.
I really hated um, Grand Budapest Hotel. Hated that movie. Hated it.
It's my least favorite of Wes Anderson. I love every single one of his movies, but Grand Budapest was my least favorite. I really didn't think he was going to be on your board. I thought I could actually pick him up in the third or fourth round. I'm surprised to see him go so quickly in the draft.
Yeah, well, hey, I came prepared. I made a list and I'm sticking to it. And Wes Anderson, yeah, he's a crowd favorite. If you got a date going on, hey, I want a Wes Anderson movie. It's worked countless times for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wes Anderson, what's it? Life Aquatic. Didn't like it, but I wanted to like
One of my favorite movies
it.
of all time, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. One of my favorite movies of all time.
I feel like I wanted to like it more than I actually did. And that's kind of my sentiment for a lot of his movies. And I kind of feel like I'm cheating
movie. I
for
love the
picking
music in that movie too. The music in that movie is just phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, hey, I'm not here to poo-poo on my own pick.
Yeah, I mean, you picked them.
I picked him mostly to keep him from you because I don't have a large selection here.
We
I don't
got
know
a
if you
draft
noticed,
day
but
trade. We got a draft day trade to announce.
I would trade you Tarantino for Wes Anderson.
No, I'm trading you my 3 and 4 picks for Wes Anderson.
I might do that.
Unannounced. I'll give you my 3 and 4 picks right now. You give me Wes Anderson.
Deal.
Okay, we got a draft
All right.
day announcement. Wes Anderson has been traded to Team T-Bone.
All right, tell me what you love about Wes Anderson, your new player.
Honestly, every single movie that he's made, he's got this like eclectic sort of like surreal style to his movies that you're instantly just whisked away to a different world and a different like realm of reality. And I really like that about him, that he's able to create his own worlds, and from his sets to the font that he uses in from movie to movie, like on signage and things like that.
It's just too cute.
He's cute. I think that's what I like about it, though, is that it's cute. It feels good watching a movie like that. Like Darjeeling Limited, you didn't mention that one. I really like that movie a lot. Rushmore, even Bottle Rocket with Luke Wilson and Owen Wilson, that's one of his first movies that he made, was really, really nice. French Dispatch that came out, I want to say like last year or the year before.
Wait, hold on. Didn't you see Luke Wilson when we were hanging out in Seal Beach? Who was that guy that you saw?
No, I saw Jason Schwartzman. Yeah, he was riding his bike. He's from Rushmore. He was in Rushmore. He was also in Darjeeling Limited. He's in a couple of Wes Anderson movies. Yeah, at the seafood restaurant that we were at outside there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were playing bags outside, and Jason Schwartzman rode by his bike.
Yeah. Did you get a picture with him?
No.
Nice call back there.
Remember? Yeah,
I brought it up. Of course I remember. Wow. Okay.
All
so
right,
I get the number 3 and 4 pick.
So now you get number 3 and 4.
Number 3, I'm picking somebody that overproduced in college, that didn't go on to have a great pro career. I'm taking M. Night Shyamalan.
Ooh, M. Night Shyamalan off the board.
Yeah. So, I mean, Sixth Sense, Signs, The Village, fantastic movies when I was growing up. Do they hold up great? I'd say Sixth Sense and Signs do. The Village might not as well. He's had quite a few clunkers ever since then, but I'm going based on his best work.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm taking M. Night Shyamalan at that spot. What do you think about that?
I like it. Sixth Sense actually produced one of my favorite memes of all time, and it's the scene where Bruce Willis is like, or the kid is like, "I see dead people," and Bruce Willis is like, "Weird flex, but okay."
Yeah, Nate Bargatze has a really good joke in his new stand-up special where he talks about how
oh yeah,
like the opening scene of the movie, like it shows him being killed by an intruder.
Yeah.
And the whole rest of the movie, you're just like, oh, so his wife just doesn't talk to him then.
Right.
And that's more believable than him just being dead. So very funny. Very funny. Check out Nate Bargatze on Netflix. He's a very funny. Oh wait, no, that's on,
No, it's on
Amazon.
Yeah.
Don't want to
Really?
mix up our media providers here. That's going to
No, we
screw up
can't
our
do that.
sponsorships in the future.
They pay good money for plugs on this show. We cannot dare slight them.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt us. I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna cut this out.
Yeah, that was rough.
Let's move on. Next pick. My fourth pick. It's more of an anticipation pick, as well as his past work as well. It's Christopher Nolan. I love Inception. I love the Dark Knight series.
Absolutely.
Tenet. I feel like I watched it at one point, and I'm like, this is a good movie if I could pay attention to it, and I just haven't yet. But it's a good movie, probably. Yeah. Inception, great movie. Memento, fantastic movie.
Love Memento. That's a good call. He was on my board for sure.
Lenny.
You
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Christopher Nolan. He's got a new movie, Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Coming out this summer.
It's about what the inception of the atomic bomb, right?
Yeah, inception of the Dark Knight of the atomic bomb.
See what we did there?
Yeah, and then I doubled down on it. It was pretty cool. Had a nice little podcast moment there. Love Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
very
me too.
Big fan.
He was on my
big
board
fan.
for sure.
My board is fantastic right now. Coen Brothers, Christopher Nolan, M. Night Shyamalan, and yours just has 2 picks.
Solid. Yeah.
So does that mean that your board's only gonna have 3 guys? I'm gonna have.
You get my 3 and 4 pick. No, I think you just pick ahead of me on 3 and 4, and I still get the pick, but just later.
All right, you get 5.
Yeah. Christopher Nolan was definitely on my board. I agree with everything you said about that. Dark Knight's one of my favorite movies of all time. Period.
I do a really great Bane impression.
Let's hear it.
No. Next time.
Top 5 impressions next time. So I've got Tarantino, I've got Wes Anderson. For my third pick, I am going to take somebody who's been what's the word I'm looking for? A mainstay in filmmaking for 7 decades, man. This guy has been
7
decades.
I know who you're talking about.
We're talking about Raging Bull. We're talking about Taxi Driver. We're talking Goodfellas, Casino, Departed. More recently, we've got Wolf of Wall Street, The Irishman, Fran Leiboviz's flick, Public Speaking. Give me Martin Scorsese, baby. Give me Marty.
Yeah, that's a great pick. That was my next pick.
Marty's insane. His filmography is just nuts. I only named a handful of them, but the guy has got hit upon hit upon hit, influenced a generation or 2 of filmmakers. Sort of a timeless dude that his stuff will just live on forever. He's great.
Yeah. The Departed.
Yeah.
The Town. No, not The Town. That was Ben Affleck. Sorry. What am I thinking of?
Mean Streets.
Mm-mm.
That was an older one. I mean, his character development, his ability to develop characters and relate each character within his movie to the next, like it's again second to none. He's one of a kind.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I'm not mad about that. Yeah, I mean that's if we're talking chalk picks, you got chalk there. Scorsese, The Departed. The other movie I'm thinking of it's got Leonardo DiCaprio. He's on Shutter Island.
Yeah, quality.
Yeah, I read that book. And I hate to be the book is better than the movie guy, but the book was fantastic as well. Put it that way. So if you're in a book reading mood,
better than the movie kind of guy, that's kind of universally true. Whenever someone's read the book is always 100% of the time better than the movie.
Yeah, I agree. Shutter Island was fantastic, but that's not to take away from the movie. The movie was so much fun. I love the movie.
Can still be good on its own. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be bad just because the book was better. You can still make good movies, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
My next pick, My next pick off the board. It's not. It's a more modern pick. Has less. It's quality over quantity for sure. I'm going to David Fincher.
Good one. Yeah.
I only have two. Oh shoot! I wrote down the wrong thing. I only have two movies that he's done that I really loved, and that's Gone Girl and The Social Network. Absolutely love those movies. Fantastic movies. Great twist in Gone Girl.
Fight Club though. Fight Club was amazing.
That was him?
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to me for picking him.
Yeah. I want to say he did Zodiac also.
Wait, yeah, he did. Yeah. Zodiac, great movie.
Yeah. Fight Club
Also a
was
great movie to fall asleep to. Like, it's one of those movies that, like, you know what's gonna happen. You know
Yeah.
you're gonna watch quality until you doze off.
Yep.
Great
Fight
movie to
Club
fall
was
asleep
another
to.
one though. The book was better than the movie, but the movie was phenomenal. Like it was great.
I tried to read the book and I made it like a chapter
Melania?
into it, and
Yeah.
it was like line for line the exact same thing as the movie. So I have a hard time reading those books because I know exactly what's going on.
Mm.
But yeah, David Fincher, Gone
Didn't
Girl,
he do
Shutter
Benjamin
Island.
Button too?
Not Shutter Island. If he did, I don't want that on my board.
Yeah, well, I think he did. I want to say he did, but I
Take it off. Take it off. He didn't do it. Social Network. Focus on
Fact
that
checkers
one.
will check us on that one.
Yeah, fact checkers, let us know. I believe I get the next pick as well.
Yes, you do.
Wait, do I really?
Yeah, you pick ahead of me both rounds automatically.
Oh, Steven Spielberg.
Great. Steven Spielbergo.
Yeah, he made Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah, man. Jurassic Park, freaking E.T. Basically, every movie comes back to Steven Spielberg in one way or another. Guys, prolific as they come. What's your favorite Steven Spielberg movie? Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park, yeah. Another one of those that I love the movie, but I love the book a whole lot more. That's actually my favorite book of all time. Little fun
Is it
fact
really?
about me. It is, yeah.
Okay.
Loved that book.
Is that Michael
and-
Crichton?
Yeah, and watching the movie beforehand really gave me some more depth to the characters. Like I knew what the characters looked like. I knew just their interactions and everything like that. And it just gave it a little bit more depth to those characters. So it like built on the world that I already knew in my head.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, I mean, Steven Spielberg, what else did he do? Did he do anything good?
No, that's it. Just a couple movies here and there,
Yeah,
Jaws. Ever heard of it?
Who did Shawshank?
All the Indiana Jones movies. Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Minority
Yeah, so I think it was a quality
AI,
pick.
Artificial Intelligence, Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I think it was a quality pick there. I'm not too mad about that one.
No, that's a big. I think his newest one, Fableman's, won some Oscars. Yeah.
I don't watch the Oscars.
No.
You think I know a lot about movies? I'm down to one potential pick left,
That's all
which
you
is
got left?
fine because I'm all out of picks.
All right, so I'm up. I'm on the clock then.
I think you have two left.
I got two left. All right, cool.
You played this poorly.
I'm gonna take. This is one I'm really glad that I actually get to pick in the fourth round. This guy is one of my favorites of all time. I mentioned him on an episode previously. His lore within pop culture, even today, lives on and on and on. Give me Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, I didn't even have him on my board. I don't like him.
Yeah, his Mad series, where he explored the human condition, just go absolutely bonkers, was incredible. Clockwork Orange, The Shining, Eyes Wide Shut, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Doctor Strangelove, How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, Barry Lyndon. I owned the Stanley Kubrick collection back in my early 20s through like a ridiculous party at our apartment, and somebody stole my DVD Stanley Kubrick collection.
That's very disappointing.
Unreal, right? How could you do that? Anyway,
in a previous episode, you talked about how I mentioned The Shining, and you were like, "Oh, I love Stanley Kubrick," and it made me really upset because I know The Shining from the book.
Yeah,
I
that's fair. That's fair.
don't like Stanley Kubrick's interpretation of The Shining. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, I never read the book, so I literally only had the film to go on. I really like Stanley Kubrick's style. Brings you to a dark place, but examines sort of the human psyche and forces the viewer to not only interpret it through the character's eyes, but then also kind of take a look within and kind of see. It's a big psychological dive when you check into a Stanley Kubrick film, which I like. So, yeah, I'm glad he slipped down to number 4.
Hey, congratulations! You got a player that was high on your board at number 5 or number 4. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Who's your number 5?
Do you have 5 already?
I do already have 5. Yeah, it was a big trade that I made.
All right. Well, I am torn between 3 right now. I've got 3 on my list that I are still available. But I'm gonna go with Spike Lee.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, give me Spike Lee. Spike Lee joints. We mentioned Martin Scorsese going 7 decades deep. Spike Lee's been making movies for 5 decades now. Malcolm X, Do the Right Thing, Crooklyn, Clockers, Summer of Sam, Bamboozle, 25th Hour. He got Game, and then most recently Black Klansman. All quality movies. I almost didn't pick him just because he's a Knicks fan, but I'm going to take him anyway. His filmography is strong. He's been in the game for a long time with a lot of high quality social commentary and deep dives into American society and what makes the fabric of that society sort of what it is. So give me Spike Lee for sure.
Yeah, can't be mad about that. I mean, good pick. You picked a quality guy. You picked with your heart. Yeah, can't be mad about that. Hey, good job.
Thanks. You too. Hey, nice board.
You still got one more.
Do I really?
Yeah.
Tarantino,
that was number 4.
Wes Anderson, Spike Lee,
Yeah.
Kubrick.
Yeah.
That's 5.
That's 5?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4. Huh. Turns out that's 5.
Turns out it's 5 after all.
Huh.
I mean, I'll
Look
take
at that.
Tim Burton and Guillermo del Toro if you're giving me bonus picks.
No. Are those your honorable mentions?
Those are my honorable mentions. Yeah, Tim Burton was almost drafted. I went with Spike Lee ahead of him.
I almost picked him, but then I realized I didn't like his movies.
Well, then why would you pick him then? Yeah, that would make sense.
To bait another trade.
Ah, nice. Clever.
Paul Thomas Anderson, no love for him.
Yeah, he was on my list.
He was on my list too. He was actually the 6th person on my list.
I had Alfred Hitchcock on my list also, but decided to go more modern than classic Hitchcock.
Yeah, it's more of an enjoy than respect type of thing.
Yeah. Like, am I going to pick Orson Welles? Like, how many Orson Welles movies am I really watching these days? Right.
He wrote Animal Farm, right, in 1984.
Yeah.
Animal Farm sucked.
Well, I mean, what did you read? Like 4th grade, 5th grade?
No, I read it last year.
Oh, what? What are you doing? No, that's not Orson Welles. You're thinking of
Pretty sure that's Orson Welles.
no, it's not.
Oh boy, I hate to look this up.
George Orwell, you're thinking of.
That's not who you're talking about?
Orson Welles, George Orwell. They sound the same, but they're different people.
Then why did you say he wrote Animal Farm?
You confused me, man. You threw me off my game.
The old bait and switch.
Yeah, you got me. But it was George Orwell who wrote those books.
Orson Welles. Sorry about that.
Okay. It happens.
Hey, okay.
Hey, look at us.
Look at us. Oh, there's our fantasy raft. For this past week, we got film directors. My top 5 were the Coen brothers, Christopher Nolan, David Fincher, Steven Spielberg, and M. Night Shyamalan. Not in that order. Order doesn't really matter. It's all about who the top 5 are. Please sound off in the comments on your thoughts on my top 5. And then T-Bones were Quentin Tarantino, which I'm very jealous of, Martin Scorsese, Wes Anderson, Spike Lee, and
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick. That's the last guy I did not write down.
You didn't even want to say his name because you hate him so much.
I hate him so much. We faked the moon landing.
Yeah, right. That's what they say.
That's what I say. So yeah, be sure to sound off in the comments, guys. Really looking forward to hearing what you guys got to say. This has been a very fun fantasy raft. This has been a very fun podcast. We got a little loose in there.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Probably the longest episode so far.
I think so. A lot of quality, not just quantity, though. A lot of quality.
Quantity and quality.
Both. We got both.
That's the best way to do it.
That's our tagline right there. Quality and quantity.
Yeah. Over
why have to choose?
in addition to
yeah,
quality and quantity. In addition, you know what I'm saying?
Most people want you to choose between quantity and quality. Here at the Rev and Bone Show, we give you both.
We give you both. Doesn't even matter. Take what you want. I don't care.
Whatever. Yeah, we're the cool stepdad. Just like
what you want,
what was it earlier?
Just smoke some weed. I don't care.
HBO Max. Yeah.
Hey, you got a girl over? I don't care. Just hang out on the couch. I'll be in the other room. I won't bother you guys at all. Have
YOLO.
a good time.
Just, you only YOLO once.
And that's what we do on the Rev and Bone Show. I almost called it the Rev and Bone Cast, but I've been pretty steady for the last couple of episodes.
Yeah. Either way, they'll get it.
They'll get it.
I want to give a real quick shout out. My T-shirt here. It's from the Feminist Trash Store. You can find them on Instagram at Feminist Trash Store. They've got a lot of really fun phrases on their shirts, and I'm going to reach out to them, let them know I plugged them, see if they'll want to sponsor us for next week.
I look forward to that. I asked you about that shirt before the show, and you didn't say anything. And hey, I'm glad you saved it for the show.
Yeah, save it for the show.
I want to give a quick shout out to my cat. She's been bothering me all episode. Everyone
She's
who's
a
watching knows my
star.
cat.
She just wants to get some airtime. She's like, let me get on this camera. I'm a star. Look at me. I'm a starlet.
The last thing she wants to do is be lifted up onto the camera, but big shout out to her. I'm going to reach out to her next episode. She'll see if she'll sponsor me. Anything to end the episode on, T-Bone?
That's it, baby.
Yeah, that's it. Tune in next week and tune in later this week for an MLB preview show. Again, we are at againstthespread.home.blog. We will be moving into the .com sphere soon. This has been the Rev and Bone Cast, episode 4 in the books. See you later, T-Bone.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Smash that button, baby.
All right, see you next time.
Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I wanna get lost in your rock and roll.